So yes, from our knowledge, from what we see, the Jewish people were under various empires at the time. So to go cold turkey from being subjugated and oppressed and stuff, not only with their life experiences, but also the not so much the ones later on with life experiences, but the ones who came up with this theology or, around about that time would have been their life experiences as well as ancestral DNA, so accustomed to being oppressed by empires, not really what we know of and study. And you're going to carry on philosophy and a whole bunch of other things, but just studying and working things out. But it does make sense, that you be oppressed by a number of empires, and then so now you're free. Yeah, you're free, but again, that whole cold turkey thing. Imagine a couple of 100 years under one empire and another couple 100 under another, and then maybe even another after that. Yeah, it would have been drenched in your, to go from having no human oppressors to being absolute freedom. Some people say that's what Yahweh represents, that's their perspective, but at the same time, it will be like, this is so unnatural, they wouldn't know what to do if they had that freedom. So instead of having a human oppressor who was against their people, it was a spiritual dictator who, so long as they followed the rules that he put out, he favored them. He favored them and he guaranteed them freedom, he guaranteed them victory, he guaranteed them prosperity, he guaranteed them a good life, providing that they follow his commands. So it's not a human being, it's a spirit. And not only that, the spirit, so long as you follow its orders and its commands, guarantees you a good life, guarantees you protection, safety, abundance, and peace. But you must do everything he says without questioning. So you're going from human oppressors that are against your people to a spiritual dictator who you have to do everything down to a T. But the difference between him and the oppressors is he will reward you with everything that he has promised, like peace, stability, security, protection, abundance. He'll reward you with all these things so long as you follow his commandments. And so that really helped me growing up, because as far as I knew there was only 10. Then there was all these other ones, but just I didn't think many of them were necessary. Like, I understand the whole wear a hat thing so that you don't absorb other people's energy. Yeah, I understood that, but at the same time I was like, you can't be disconnected. But sometimes I wear a hat because it's like, I've dealt with my stuff and I got peace and all this type of thing. Stuff comes up, but it's only like a little bit. It's only like 1/15th in comparison to what it used to be a decade ago. And it's like, take my time to sit with it, because if it's like 15 times as much, you can't sit all day. You got things to do, and you have to go do things and all type of thing, But since only like 1/15th the amount, you can sit with it for like 10 minutes or something, and then go on with your day. And sometimes I find peace and serenity once I push past it. I end up sitting for half an hour, not because I'm still dealing with it, because it only took me 10 minutes, and it was only like 1/15th the strength. Yeah. I mean, I don't want a spiritual dictator, but that's exactly why they needed him. And for those who don't question and just follow the commands and have all their needs met, there's no need for them to question. Why question? Okay, I used to think pursue knowledge, yeah. But truth is, what do you call it? Circumstantial. The All Blacks have a game against France on July the 19th. I think it's their first All Blacks game. Here's the thing. The truthful, honest, best thing to happen in that game for France is for France to win. The worst thing for the truthful, honest, worst thing to happen for the All Blacks in that game is for France to win. The truthful, honest, best thing that can happen in that game for the All Blacks is that the All Blacks win, and the truthful, honest, worst thing that could happen for France in that game is that All Blacks win. So that's why people needed, and some people still need, Yahweh. For me, I don't want a spiritual dictator, but I'm fully on board with Jesus, and I don't hate Yahweh because I can see his role. I can see how he helped me so much. You think you can't overcome these obstacles? God is on your side, and he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. You follow these 10 commandments, and people, parents want you to do this, want you to do that, want you to be this way, but it's like actually those sports and those types of music and those diets or things like that aren't even mentioned in the Bible. And I have peace doing all those things. It brings me joy and satisfaction, and I still keep the 10 commandments and pray to Jesus every day. That was what my thinking was. So Yahweh helped a lot. But then there's a time to say, okay, well, I don't need a spiritual dictator. He comes every now and then, but I'm just like, dude, you're not the only God. But I respect you and I honor you because for many years you gave me what I needed. I'm still on board with Jesus and Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. They've been coming to me since birth. Oregon used to scare me, but now I realize it's because as a child you must adapt in order to survive. If you're not, true you is not accepted. It doesn't scare me. I had a dream one time where I was like chilling out in because when you face if there's anything of yourself or anything subconscious that you're afraid of, she will bring it out to you. Just like Hela in the Norse myth. She's a mirror, right? Morrigan in the Celtic. Kali Ma, Durga Ma, Ma in Hindu mythology. I had a dream about 3 weeks ago. I had a dream. I was sitting in this nice place, and it was like a 2-story house, and I had the feeling like I owned it, and feeling like a family home, but I was just getting things ready before the family arrived home. And it was a nice place, and garden nearby, some trees nearby, and peaceful place. But then the lights, a certain atmosphere went in the room, but there was no one there. It was in a dream. And then the lights went black because there was like certain lights in rooms that were on, certain weren't. Like, okay, so the kitchen lights were on, and there was a light for the stairs going down to the garage in my dream, right? They all went off, and presence was in where the lights was, and I was like, "F you!" And then I paused, and then I was happy because I ended up facing another